going to speak a little bit about the return to serve, how you can work on it, and keys that I like to focus on when I'm coaching somebody on the return to serve. First of all, the most important thing is your grip. When you have a two-hand backhand, I feel like the grip on the return's pretty easy. You can hold your forehand grip and your left hand is on the racket like it normally is. The advantage I think of having a two-handed backhand on the return is it's easy to hit a forehand with obviously the forehand grip. If the serve comes to your backhand, it's a quick change to hit your backhand grip, or worst case, if you don't have time to change, you can still hit a backhand with not a perfect right hand grip. That's why you see a lot of two-hand returners take the return early, except for Medvedev, but most of the girls I coach, and also a lot of good two-handers like Djokovic, Agassi, they all return usually looking to take the return early. When you have a one-hand backhand, I find it a little bit more difficult because if you hold in a forehand grip and it comes to your backhand, it's not that easy to make that quick change. I think the best one-hand returners either have a neutral grip, or in some cases, they may move back a little bit to have more time to do the grip changes. With that being said, the second thing that's the most important is where your court position is when you're returning. Some people like to return from farther back to give themselves a little bit more time. That's a good play at times. It's just important that you understand the angles. If I'm taking the return early, I'm square up to the server and I'm moving in on an angle to return the ball. As I move farther back, I got to make sure I respect the wider serve, so I tend to move back a little bit. I tend to move on an angle. Again, things that are important to realize when you're returning farther back, it's important that you're looking to hit the return deeper. Maybe give yourself a little bit higher over the net, give yourself a little bit more time. You return a little bit closer. Maybe you're looking to take that ball early, come to the net. Maybe you're looking just to take it early so it doesn't get too high. You have to figure out first serve, second serve. A lot of people like to stand back a little farther on the first serve because the serve is typically coming faster. Second serve, maybe you're looking to move in a little bit more. You can also, a lot of the pros I work with, especially in women's tennis, where the return of serve is such an important part of the game, sometimes you'll see girls stand way in to kind of try to intimidate their opponent. Serena Williams did that a lot. And then maybe right before they serve, they even get back to their original position. Or same thing, you could move farther back, and then maybe right before they serve, you move in a little bit. With that being said, it all comes down to practice. I think you have to practice a lot. If you have the advantage of having a coach, or you have somebody a parent who can serve at you, I don't think players practice their return a lot. If you go to these big tournaments and watch the top players, they're practicing their return to serve almost as much as their serve or other parts of their game. A lot of ways you can practice it. If you have a coach who can serve at you or parent, I worked a lot on serving, having my coach serve way inside the baseline to try to speed up my reflexes. Obviously, if I played Ivo Karlovic or something, he might stand way in to exaggerate that speed. So when I play the opponent, my reflexes are a little bit faster. Same thing maybe with some players that have weaker second serves, some girls that maybe have weak second serves. It's really important to feel like you're attacking that ball almost like a short ball, because when you think about it, a slow second serve is really a short ball, so you can attack it off of that. Footwork is extremely important on the return. If you see some of the best returners, Agassi, Djokovic, Pegula, Maria, a lot of these returners, they're not doing a ton of movement before the ball comes. One of the most important things I like to focus on when I'm working on somebody's return is their lower body and their footwork. The best returners have great balance. With that being said, I'm not a big fan of this huge split step. I used to practice with Andre Agassi, who had one of the best returns. He used to tell me that he stays very set, takes a small step up, and then he's ready to go. Again, as closer you are in the court, it's important that you're not doing too much forward movement and you're not taking too big of a split step, because I find that if the ball's coming fast, a lot of times the players get stuck in the air and they can't go side to side. I like to have the split step similar to when you're at the net, where you're stepping in, quick step, and you're ready to go. That also has a lot to do with your first step. So I like to teach, ready, backhand comes, same thing. You're out with this leg, and if you have time to step around, great. If you're out with this leg, you don't have time, you can always hit it open. Same with this side. You're looking to cut off the angle, get there with this leg, and you have time to finish around, great. But it's something you need to practice. You need to practice returning from different positions in the court, different speeds, different spins. Returning is a pretty complex shot that I think a lot of players don't spend enough time practicing. And it all starts with the grip, footwork, reaction. The more you can practice having your coach serve from inside, or if you don't have a coach, you practice with big servers, it speeds up your reflexes, speeds up your vision, speeds up everything, because ultimately the return of serve is all about reaction, footwork, legs, and being very clear about what you're doing with the return. I think on the return of serve, it's really important that we talked about you're aiming at a target. And funny story, when I was younger, I was 18, I was a real offensive returner. I like to take the return early. I got a chance to go practice with Agassi for a few days, and he had just won the US Open. I think he beat Steek in the final. And I asked him, I said, like, what is your target on the return? What are you aiming at? And he says, oh, you know, back then there were a lot of serve and volleyers. And he said, well, when I had a big serve, he goes, I aim right here at the top of the net and I just rip it as hard as I can. He goes, and sometimes I catch it a little late and I hit it right near the side of the line for a winner, and everybody thinks I'm a genius, but I was actually aiming right here. And so again, on the return, especially against bigger servers, you're looking to give yourself a pretty big target, you know, because you might catch it a little late, you might not hit it as perfect as you want. And so I like to aim a lot of returns through the middle, maybe even like top of the net. That's where the stick or target comes in. You can put it low. You can use the stick target for practice returns, because I find on big points, especially break point or something, you know, you want to make the return, you want to make the opponent play. You hear all of these things, which is true, but a lot of times that makes you push the ball, maybe get a little tentative. But a lot of times I'll just say to my player, like, just pick your target, and you practice hitting these targets enough on a big point, they're looking at hitting this target, and it really helps their return.